You know what that is? Discipline. Selfish.
No joke. We're legitimate.
Fucking do that? Then do it. Do it 100%, because I'm trying to.
We recognize that we are limitless.
You got to be a champion to become a champion, right? Winning is a habit because we create habits that lead to good execution and success.
It's Monday night, so you know what that means. It's time for the Coaches Show, the podcast where we peer into the minds of the men and women who are shaping the game of paintball, one episode at a time. There he is. All right, tonight is episode 74, and we have a pretty special show lined up for you. Joining us is none other than two icons, maybe more, but two of the sport. First, we'll be joined by the man behind Chicago Aftershock, Mr. Todd Adamson. Todd will brief us on this past weekend's ICPL. I believe that was the Old Bay Classic held in Chesapeake City, Maryland, where Aftershock took the win in pro 10-man action. And we'll also discuss the upcoming exhibition match being held at Vendetta Paintball just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah this coming weekend. But wait, there's more, because I said we'd be joined by two icons. That's right. Ryan Greenspan, my friend from San Diego Dynasty, will join us as well to also discuss the upcoming old school Xball match between Dynasty and Aftershock. We're going to get matter of fact, we're probably going to get the promoter on here as well, Mr. Seth Johnson from Vendetta Paintball. We're going to get his insight and his reason for why are we doing this. I can't wait to talk to him. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm Coach Mike Bianca, and with me is my friend, Coach Ryan Gray. Welcome to the Coaches Show. This episode is brought to you by Maxed Sportswear. If you're a field owner wanting to up your presentation to your customers, get Maxed custom ref and team gear to make your field team and refs look amazing. Give them a call today. You won't regret it. And BKI, the best knowledge in paintball. Be sure to check out the upcoming summer camp. The sign-up link is in the comments. You can learn from the pros, shoot great paint, eat good food, and more than likely have a pretty unforgettable experience. One more thing, and this intro will come to a close. The Cincinnati Coaches Clinic info is out. The link for the sign-up is in the show description. The clinic is hosted by Ryan and me, and we're going to cover game communication, box reads, initial calls, mid-game adjustments, closing point communication, creating and winning cultures, structuring effective practices, building discipline and accountability, setting and maintaining clear expectations, all that cool jazz. And with that, I'm spent. Ryan, you say we get this party started.
Oh my gosh. That was great. Nice job. You flowed right through that.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, flowed right through that.
Right
yeah, man, it's going to be a fun show tonight. So one of the things we're going to touch on too for you guys, coaches and other players who are watching, one of the things we're going to talk about when we get Ryan and Todd in is kind of the differences between the old school methodology of preparation, practice, those kind of things going into an event, and then also like roster sizes, rule differences. We'll kind of talk about some of the nuances that you'll see on the stream or in person if you guys are close to Vendetta Paintball or you guys are going out to watch it. We want to give you an idea of kind of what to expect because the game is slightly different. It is slightly different. They'll see a lot more risk, right, which is a lot of fun because you're going to play so many more points. You'll see a lot more risk being taken. Obviously, once the guys get tired in the second half, a lot of times the game slows way down, kind of more what you're used to seeing now. But there are some pretty unique things that are a little bit different between each one of the format styles. So talk a little bit about that. And Stephen, I kind of answered your question or your statement in the chat there. There's shows every night. We're all going to step on each other. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, obviously, if you're a paintball player, Thursdays, Fridays are for travel and practice. So we'll never have a show on those nights. No. So everybody jams them in the front of the week. And unfortunately, you're going to have to pick which one you want to watch live. And then the other one, you got to watch it after the fact. So, but we're glad you're with us tonight. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love
glad
it.
You're with us tonight. Yeah, you ready to bring Todd in?
Let's bring Todd in, man. We were having a good time in the green room and want to continue that.
I know we had to we got to start. Good evening, sir.
Hi, guys.
Mr. Adamson. Now you sound a little hoarse. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, a lot of yelling this weekend. In a good way. The fields were big and communication was key. So,
excellent.
So let's talk about the ICPL. Let's just start there. So, give us kind of your synopsis of the event.
Yeah. Well, it was held at Brian Barnow's field. It's been held there before. When we showed up, they had some pretty heavy rain already, and some heavy rain came through. Luckily, it all came at night, and the work that they did, preventive maintenance, I would say, to mitigate the parking area and the heavy traffic areas with his turf and all the stuff, was really good. It held up, and it made it for a fantastic an event weather-wise overall. It dried up. It got really breezy and sunny. It didn't get necessarily warm. It was hot when we got there, and then it just sort of stayed in the 70s, I think, 60s and 70s. And they really did a good job of getting everything ready for the worst case scenarios, should I say. And I know Trozen worked hard with those guys to really dial it all in.
Yeah, and that was at OXCC, right?
Correct. OXCC, Middleton, Maryland, maybe something like that, somewhere close to that.
It's a gorgeous field. I remember we played several events there. It's a beautiful place.
I had only played there one time. Tammy and I played with Aftershock there a couple of years ago, and our daughter was graduating, so we had to leave on Saturday night, and we made the semis for Sunday morning, and then they got knocked out. So this time we finally finished the job, should I say. So
yeah, I'd say.
I would say, yeah, put an exclamation point on that one. So, Todd, let's talk about the ICPL from a format perspective. You have pro 10-man, you have amateur 10-man, and don't you have like an open 5-man and an amateur 5-man?
I believe so. Yeah. We played the 5-man on Friday. We try to make it a purpose to always get as many guys as we can in early on Thursday afternoon late to try to walk the field. They usually play the 5-man on the 10-man field. So it gives you a look at it, as well as, you get a free look, you get to test your guns, get acclimated to the weather, surroundings, any kind of other adversities, set up your staging area stuff. And the competition, usually not a lot of teams play the 5-man. I think there were 7 or 8 maybe in our division, and maybe 8 or 10 in the amateur division. But, it's not really a long event with that many teams. And you get to, like I said, you get to test your equipment, the paint, which is crucial at the event. There's one ball, one manufacturer. So you don't really have to go through a scrutinizing, checking different brands of paint, this, that, and the other. Obviously, it was GI paint, so it was the best paint in the industry, and it was the Ultra Evil, and it's spot on. And it was just one lot straight through, a full truck, and you didn't have to worry about anything. Send people to the truck, pick up the paint, and come back and load it up. Do some paint management and let it rip.
Yeah. And how many fields did you guys play?
So they used 3 fields. So they added a new field, a new concept, hybrid, as they would call it, style field up front next to the hyperball, and took away the farthest back woods field, which was most detrimented by the rain and the mud, right? So it was really good to play this new style field. The old trench field, which we played on, they had completely revamped it, right? So they had added several different dynamics. They put a sort of a wall down at the middle 50 bottom area, and it made for some really hot action both ways. So it was aggressive play. There were very, very few stalemates in respect to people sitting on each other. I think teams that just didn't have good time management in their game plans, which is a key in 10-man, right? Because you're playing 10 on 10, the fields are huge. And 10 minutes on the netted concept fields and 12 minutes in the woods, with a 10-second start, you need to have your game plan organized. And if things, different things happen in the game that don't work out, you got to sort of put it together. And again, the reason I love 10-man the most over the natural NXL Xball style games we play is you got a bigger chessboard, more opportunity, more pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can really be creative and clever, and it catches people off guard, and the risk reward sometimes really pays off.
Right, being sneaky is a very important aspect of this game. So
people don't understand that you can physically not have to. You got an Adam Gardner or a Weasel or a Glenn Forster. Yeah. Those are, or a Andy Capcock, right? Mm-hmm. All guys are somewhat old school seasoned players that won't shoot a lot of paint, but when they shoot, they kill people, and they go right into seams, and they go right up to the other side of people in the woods that you never would expect, because they use the opportunity of the terrain, and they're comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. Newer players are like, they'll want to shoot their gun, or they'll hear people, or their timing. They really don't understand yet. And one of the pro players this weekend that was watching some of the games, that's a recent pro player, current pro player, said, this old school having to wear your goggles and go out in the woods, and there's no net to protect you, and the whole sense and feel of everything, right? Is and seeing all this kind of stuff, right? I mean, literally, Andy plays for Infamous, and he crawled, within, like 5 feet of Manny Francia, right? And they both were super aggressive, super old school, and super fast. And they had crawled, within literally 5 feet of each other because of these trenches that, if you take that risk and there's growth all on the top, you can't see, you can only go off your senses. And the sense awareness, right? So the game creates a field awareness like no other. And if you can master that out there, then you can go play your 5-on-5, the deal we have to deal with at 5 times a year. You really learn some things quick.
That's right. And I did want to make a comment real quick for some in the audience who don't understand what a hybrid field is. It's a mix of woods and structures and pieces of wood or plastic, or
could be airball bunkers.
Could be airball bunkers out there. It could be a parked car. It could be all sorts of things like that, right? So, and when Todd's talking about trenches, he's talking about trenches. Like, you're literally running through, World War I, type concept here. So the craftiness, the stealth aspect of 10-man in the woods is so underrated, I think, sometimes. And it sucks for the refs, but it's is what it is.
Difficult.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Let's talk about kind of the tournament. So you guys flow right through the preliminary rounds. You drop 2 games, one to the OG Hurricanes, the other one to the Suspects, who I don't even know who that is.
Wow. I want to talk about that. So
Okay.
yeah,
I thought you might.
Yeah, I do. So the 5-man, just to recap, the 5-man went well. It came down to us versus Farside, right, in the 5-man, and they were able to pull it off. We went at them, and they had, I believe, a point advantage going into the finals, and we really went hard at them and tried to close and win the game and not play it on points, and it didn't prevail. And it was us, Image, and Farside in the final, and we ended up taking second, and Farside won. And their skill and their tactics are extremely good. Yeah. So we go to, we've got a draw, right? And the draw changed twice before we showed up. So they had one out there, and then something was wrong or something, or somebody complained or something happened, and then the brackets changed again, and we ended up with the brackets with the OG Hurricanes and a lot of good teams in our bracket. But we drew them, and so we're first game on the trench field, the hybrid field, right? And they had a lot of old school Northeast guys. I really loved that they put that team together and came and competed. It was really fun. They played really well. We sort of banged real hard on the trench field, and when you get two superpowers like that banging against each other, with only 12 minutes to make it happen, neither had a chance. I think they were going down. Literally, they had busted our top side, and they were going to our flag space, and they were holding us down at the bottom. And the time ran out, right? And I believe the count was five alive for them and 4 alive for us. So you can take that as a loss if you want to put it on the books, because it shows up green or red. But really, to us, that was just a warm up and immaterial game, because we just need to start off and being consistent. In another thing that's different, from the NXL style bracketing systems, is you only got 4 games. Right. So you got 4 games, and you better prevail and you better do really well. In ICPL and 10-man, you get 7 or 8 games, depending on if there's 16 or 20 teams. And you get, so we got 7 games to deal with. So that first game, we were okay with that outcome. We don't like necessarily saying it's a loss, but it was a stalemate. Right. And they played really well. But going in for the rest of that day, we played 6 games that day, and we really, so that was our one Woods game, and then we moved to Hyperball and the hybrid container field. It had some shipping containers on it, and it was extremely wide. And we didn't get to talk about what that hybrid field really the dynamic was, but it was incredibly long. And it was turfed. It was beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Completely turfed. You'll be able to see some if you go to the ICPL or all the you'll see it flood the airwaves, right, in the next couple of days from all the photographers that were there. But it was super awesome. It was super laid out, risk reward, and it was almost like 3 zones, but it was equally as wide as it was long. So you literally could not shoot necessarily from side to side. And you definitely had a real issue. You have to elevate and really, really elevate your gun to try to get somebody on the come out on the break, right?
Right.
So we carried a roster of 13 people, and we did some rotations, and we started in our groove, and we really started rocking. And we ended up on the Hyperball field, which I believe was our number one best field for our team, because we're really good shooters and this, that, and the other. And I'm not going to say we took anybody lightly. I wasn't in on the game. I believe we had the perfect personnel out of any of the 10 of the 13 combination that we could have at any time. We was going to succeed and still do the outcome that prevailed. But We played. They're from St. Louis. They had 15 guys. They hadn't won too many games, and they had a 13-year-old young man out on the field playing against us, and they ripped us. They wanted it more. They played in the pro division. I don't know why they played in the pro division, but I went and talked to them, and Brock Jolliffe, my good friend that plays on Far Side, is from there, and he came over to watch them, and they kicked the shit out of us, is what they did.
Yeah.
They took the center big X in the middle of this hyperball field, and that guy started doing work, and then they took the right 50, and then they went into the snake, and the snake guy came all the way to our side and shot the shit out of us. And they just incinerated us. And it was the greatest thing. I will attribute it to them helping us win the event. Because when we went back and I walked back and we had a small conversation that wouldn't be for whatever.
Not PC enough for the show.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I would be banned if it was repeated what I told the other 12 members of Chicago Aftershock in the huddle. If that's what we're going to do,
Right.
That's not what we do here. Right. We play with purpose. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We pound and we get 99s or 100 and just play with authority. And nobody took any initiative. They could recognize the threats in the worst possible places, and they did not go to exchange with them. They didn't do anything about it, and they just continually got picked off and pounded by this team. And it was hats off to those guys.
I was just about to say, they didn't win. That was the only game they won, right? That they won, like with a flag hang.
Correct. If
you're gonna win one with a flag hang, that's the one you want to win. That's it, right? Like you 100%. You beat on a bunch of legends and current pros, and I mean, those guys at least got to walk out of there with that one, right?
Hey,
they got that one.
To show you that if you play with purpose, and you're gonna, it's no big deal if you play men's league and you do this, that, and the other, but it's a different deal if you're playing a pickleball men's league and Andre Agassi lives in your neighborhood and he comes out and he's like, hey, he plays in the league. You want to smash that guy, right? You want to beat the best that's out there at any given time. And those guys wanted to win. And our guys were complacent on maybe expecting to win. Now, I don't think that's what was in their heads because of the quality of people and the mentality that we field and put together. But you need a wake-up call every now and then, or you become complacent, and that's the whole thing in life. It doesn't just mean this paintball game. It means everything about life. Right. And you got to go every day, and you got to go hard, and you got to
I love it. I think they send it, right? They send it because they're like, what have we got to lose, right? So let's go, and that's absolutely. I love that story.
It was hats off to them. I talked to those guys, after that game. And, as a matter of fact, the dad of the son sent me a message because he wants to try to get more and more. When we won France, we had a good friend, Gabriel, and his son, and I butcher his name every time. Anyway, we had a 13-year-old, and this guy knew that and had saw that and has reached out. And I said, reach out to Gabriel because they want to put together young, up-and-coming people, players to show them that, hey, we can get together and create, something, right? So it's overall great what happened.
Absolutely love it. Do you want to grab that question out of the chat?
I have no idea how to do. I don't see a chat. Remember, I barely got this on. So.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Read me the question out of the chat, and I will answer the question.
I will pull that up right here. It says a question is from Brandon Olson. Do you think that Farside and Aftershock have developed a solid rivalry the last few years in the classic format?
We have always had a rivalry with Farside. They were somewhat of a Midwest created team. Dresser and Brock and some of these other guys and John Rathburn, the owner of the team. they're just a pain in my ass, all the time. They just won't go away. They've been that way all the time. And
I first experienced Farside at the Memphis Open, I believe, in 1998, and it was held inside an arena in Memphis where they normally do
the Memphis Indoor.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah. I was playing with a team called Fear Factory at the time. We ran into Farside, and those guys were they were the team to beat. And I remember that event too, because that's when they allowed, for the first time ever, audience participation. So that whole place was banging, with everyone yelling from the sidelines. It's crazy, but Farside was unaffected by any of that.
Yeah, no, they are a very, very talented team and very underrated. A lot of their players play with, for me, through Chris Hudson, who handles all of my 10-man stuff usually, other than the ICPL. I handle that one myself. But he handles all the 5, 7, and 10-man NXL stuff that we have been doing extremely well in for the last 10 years. And Adam Farge, Aaron Tholey, a lot of players, Brock, all these guys usually jump on some of our action for 7, and Andy Horvath. All those guys jump in on our 5, 7, or 10-man stuff. We mix in some other players that are, not necessarily tied up in the league and have the availability. And we put together a really good mix. I think that's one of our real good fortes, is to pull together the talent, pull the talent together, but then, put everybody in the mindset and that's what I was comparing in respect to Farside as a team. They play as a team. They stick together as a team. They have very little variation of player movement, and their player management from the top down is extremely, extremely good. So good it aggravates me so much. That's all right. And then you got people like myself and Hudson that we pulled together. Players that we know, that complement each other, right? And then we put it together and then we bang. And that's a harder road for me than it is for obviously Farside, right? But I don't have that luxury because I don't have that time. So,
and you're a busy guy.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out and just say the roster that Chicago Aftershock had at the Old Bay Classic deal. My wife, Tammy Adamson, she plays specifically on this more of the concept field because she's a bully. She really plays well on the hyperball field. That's Ryan Greenspan's name for her, the bully. And I
love it.
Yeah, myself, LP, Paul Everett, an old strange player that doesn't practice a lot, but
great jiu-jitsu practitioner too.
He does a lot of fitness, and his mindset and brain is from the old school days, and he understands the whole concept, right? Mm-hmm. And then we had Gerald Garcia, who was an Oakland assassin, right? He lives in Dallas, has come back, plays regularly at Giant in Dallas, plays a lot of paintball, and I was playing a lot of the NXL stuff. And then I brought in some smarty pantses, Rodney Squires and Glenn Forrester. And I brought Glenn in for because of the AARP discount at the hotel. So that worked. But those two names are synonymous for old school right there. So
right,
Cap is no longer a competing ICPL team. And they were one of the toughest and top Dave Baines put together. And they had some sort of falling out with the team or some different direction, which gave some opportunity for players that were available to come play. So I picked up Glenn and Rodney, also Eric Hunter. I think he played with Dynasty a little bit back in the day, and he was a big cap proponent. And then I started juicing it up a bit, should I say. I have Ryan Brand. Right? Ryan Brand, the coach.
Another smarty pants.
Another smarty pants, coach of X Factor. Extremely well-rounded and versatile player. And then J.C. Whittington, you might have heard of him, right?
Arsenal.
Currently has just come back and is on Arsenal, but that's his hometown, home area, home somewhat field, so he knows all the stuff. And
Company.
He's a badass, right? And then our three pros that we were allowed: Ryan Hoskinson from Aftershock, Meter from X Factor, and TJ Danner from X Factor. So those were our three official pros that you're allowed on the deal, and that's the 13 players and Zizek Barrow. I'm sorry, Zizek, paintball nerd, because we love the media, and he keeps us in touch with the AI and the internet. So.
It's a murderer's row, man, for sure. My goodness.
Yeah, it was good. It's hard to pick who sits, and I sat most of we played 10, 12 games, whatever it was. I think I sat like probably 8 or 9 of them, because I like to help make sure everybody's jiving, and I like to watch from the outside. So, but the prime suspect team, 100% gave us a wake up call early that would have cost us on a Sunday when there's no return if you lose on a Sunday, right? So.
Right.
Yeah, because through the semis and finals, you guys rolled.
Yeah.
You guys rolled.
And the class of these players, this is the other thing that attributes to our success, the mentality and the class of the players, that the 13 players that were on Aftershock at this event, there was selflessness, no selfish, just happy to be there, understood the concept, believed, bought into the system, except for Glenn, who always, every time I made a plan, he would be like, I don't know. And I was like, oh my God. So other than that, these guys were top notch, which again, you need that when you're dealing with such a large group playing together and all getting on the same page.
Well, let's talk about that dynamic for a minute, Todd, because I mean, some of the names you threw out there, besides yourself, obviously, but yourself and Ryan Brand and Forrester and all these incredible minds in paintball, not just talented players, but I mean, incredible minds in paintball. Prior to the event, I assume there's some form of structure. All right. Hey, Chief Indians, or do we have a cabal? How does that process work? How do you establish that for our listeners out there who might be looking to coach or get involved in ICPL 10-man? What kind of dynamic is happening there between those types of leaders that are leaders in other organizations now all coming together? Do you rein them all in and say, I'm the merciless God that rules this universe, or is there a cabal or a conversation? How does that all work?
Yeah. First off, I don't know what a cabal is. And second off, yes, I yell a lot. Right.
I love all of this.
And they trust me. You know what I mean? They trust me. Other than Glenn, right? They trust me. And
a cabal is a conglomerate of leadership.
Right.
So it's like where you have, like, let's just touch on the roster for a moment.
That'd be the same as a government, because I'm not sure that really.
I mean, but you still have a president, right? So you still have a supreme leader,
like a governing body.
Okay.
Yeah, when you look at your roster and you look at some of these names, there's some personalities on here that have been leadership on every team they've ever been a part of. Rodney Squires being one of those, for sure. I mean, Rodney has been sort of the tactician of every team he's ever been a part of, including Cap Factory. Every image I ever saw where they were in the pit or like in the staging area, Rodney was commanding the group, right? So you have Rodney Squires, you have Glenn Forrester, you have TJ Danner, who TJ is a soldier, but is also very intelligent, wants to be heard. And then you have Ryan Brand, who, again, coaches a highly successful Xball team, also incredibly intelligent. And then you add in the mix of also getting feedback from guys like Meter Ninos, JC
right.
Whittington, and who JC obviously has been the captain of the majority of the teams that he's participated in the sport with. So what Mike's asking is like, hey, is there a conversation that is happening, or is it more like Todd is dictating, hey, here's kind of what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do, and just let's go.
What's the process?
No, I ask them, I say, hey, what do you think? That's why we pick these
Totally.
and I get their stuff, and then some of it I would say, no, that's not very good. I'm only kidding. I never had to say that, but
sure.
Yeah, you just put it together. You know what I mean? Right. And everybody again understands. And if there was something that was off base or a possibility other than Glenn, which everything was, again, they would come up and say, what do you think about this or that? And I'd say, end result, it's the same way, cause and effect. We're doing this, so this happens. We're going to do this, so they do this. If you want to do it this way, it's the same result. As long as everybody buys in, we dictate and go.
Yeah.
And it really flows well. And that's hard to come by.
Preaching to the choir. So
it's an impressive roster.
It really is.
For sure. An impressive roster.
Well, there's a couple of impressive rosters at this event. I was just looking through some of them. It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, talking about 10-man paintball and, the teams and the calibers, we didn't have Diesel and Mark. I wish they were there. They're again, the top tier team. They've got it dialed in. They maintain I'll call it an 80 percentile same roster for continuity, which makes that depth and that gelling so deep that when things, when stunts are pulled, people know how to react and do what they're supposed to do, right? And I wish they were there. I can't really think of a couple of the other teams that were missing from the event, because I think there was only 16 pro out of the 20 or this, that, or the other. But it was really good. It was really good overall with all the teams. I mean, the Adrenaline team. I mean, if you look at one of the divisions in the semifinals, I believe it was the All-Americans, Image, and the OG Hurricanes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every team won one of the deals, and it all came down to like a 105, a 106, and a 109, or a 106, 107, and a 109. Those are the points scored out of their brackets, and the 109 moved on. Think about that.
Yeah, brutal.
That was the OG Hurricanes that prevailed.
Yeah, 109, 107, 106.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
How hard is that? How tight is that entire bracket? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It's incredible.
Well, let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about the current Xball iteration of Chicago Aftershock. Just for a little bit. We don't want to spend a bunch of time on that. But so obviously, Todd, I don't think that the finishes you guys have experienced over the last two events have been what the expectations are. Kind of what's going on in the camp, like where are you guys at mentally, and kind of what are there any changes we should expect, anything like that?
We're here to produce, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to produce. My wife has allowed me graciously to entertain my lifelong passion and her passion of this sport, and we're to produce, right? We wear this name. It's everything to us.
Right.
And no, I don't know. I'm not real sure if you saw any other industry franchise owner make a statement to public people, right?
No, that was powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. That
to
was
their
interesting.
sponsors and to their fans. So that should answer your question. No, I'm not happy. Read that statement that I sent out there, and that tells it. Am I happy? No, I'm not happy with, mediocrity. I'm not happy. I'm a winner, and we're here to win, and we're here to perform at the highest level. And if we're not in the top 3, then that's not what we're doing. Are there changes going to be made? There will be changes made. There will be changes made until we win. That's it. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Winning's everything. And that's what we're going to do. And if we got into some kind of situation where it's, some things are taking place that people aren't able to put in the time and the work, then that's being addressed, and we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. We use a lot of paint, more than probably any other organization, should I say. Tammy's team, the 5, 7, and 10 mans, the Pro Aftershock, right? So the Pro WNXL, the Europe. Currently, I hold the first place in the United States ICPL and the first place in the ICPL Europe with Coming At Ya, our pro franchise.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a pro franchise team that's just starting out, and we went 2-2 at the first NXL or European NXL event, and then we played the ICPL that they had there, 10-man, because I wanted to help teach those guys. On a Sunday, I was like, no, we're playing more paintball, and we're going to play paintball. We're going to go play 10-man. What's that? I was like, you're going to see. Come on. I'm going to teach you. They had trenches there. And it was fantastic. You could look up the roster. Offenburg, Coming At Ya. So that's a big deal to hold, some of these spots and some of these things that nobody really puts 2 and 2 together of how much that takes, right? So I just got back 4 hours ago off a plane from Maryland, and I leave Friday morning at 6 a.m. to go to Utah, and then I'll leave Monday morning and go right to Chicago, and we practice Chicago because that's Wednesday layout. We'll play Chicago for 5 days, Impact Infamous at Badlands, greatest field in the Midwest, and home up for Chicago Aftershock. And then we're going to go 4 hours to Cincinnati, and we're going to practice there until we play Cincinnati. And then when we get back on Monday from Cincinnati, I leave Tuesday to go to Europe, and we go play Breakout Spa in Belgium for 5 days. And then we go to England from Belgium. And then I get back on I don't know, whatever, July 4th or something after.
And then you get a little break.
God bless America.
That's it, buddy. Yeah. We doing it. We out here doing it. So
you get a little break after that.
So when you talk to me about,
holy shnikes,
what should we do, or what's this or that, everybody's replaceable if they don't pull their weight and they don't put the effort. I can see past that's everybody. That's the organization total from top to bottom.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if there's things that just, oh, wow, this or that, I like you, but no, we're not doing that. We'll replace you with somebody that starts producing.
Yeah, I think maybe obviously it wasn't, are you happy? Because I know the answer to that question. You and I talked on Tuesday after the event. I knew you weren't happy. It's more like have changes already been made, one, and then really what is the kind of the energy of the group right now? Is it hunger or is it fear, right? Is it because you guys are in a weird situation where you have an incredibly talented group. You have a great coach. You have a fantastic organization. You're great sponsors. You know what I mean? Like everything is in line for you guys to perform at a really high level. It's almost like there's either a mental or emotional stopgap somewhere, like a barrier that needs to be broken through. And again, is some of that fear around guys like just wanting to keep the role. And that's what I'm asking is because I don't know, like I can't put the finger on it and say, this is what's wrong with your team. I don't know.
No, that's not it. It's not fear.
Yeah.
It's not fear. We just, And then really looking back at it, we missed it by 1 point at both teams. But that's no excuse. You shouldn't even be in that situation, right? So, the beatings will continue till the morale improves.
All right. Well, let's jump off of that. So let's we have another legend who's going to join us now. And let's kind of talk through a little bit about what we're going to see this weekend. You guys, you and Ryan, let's bring Ryan in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You think with all those airline miles, Todd would be able to get a better camera. You look like a ghost.
I'll tell Tammy that you said that about her computer.
I thought you were on a handy cam with a VHS player. They got 1080p.
He just comes in swinging.
No, I told you this stuff like
that. Stretched out.
Ryan and I are just going to sit back and let's.
Speaking of stretching out, let's talk about what we're doing this weekend.
You're going to get fucking blown away.
Yeah, we're about to stretch you guys out.
I hope you have a body armor. Do they make the body armor at JT?
Yeah, we're working on it. It's actually made out of the hide of your skin. Yeah.
Oh, good God.
Boy, I miss you, huh?
Jesus.
This weekend, other than fake tan and fucking brush your teeth 20 times.
By the way, hey, Ryan, in Todd's defense, Tammy says that he wouldn't let me put lights in the room.
Yeah.
She did turn something on. I said, turn that on. That is fair.
Maybe no, she's always listening.
Incognito a bit.
She is listening.
She's always listening.
Yeah.
She's the bully, right?
Right.
She's the bully.
She's the bully.
She sure is.
I love this.
Yeah.
No,
So let's talk about this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So obviously quite a bit different than the format we've been playing over the last several years. You guys are getting to kind of go back in time a little bit, play the old format. So like, Ryan, what do you think? Like, what are the main differences besides just the roster size in kind of how that game flow works in the old school style with the much longer time, no mercy rule? Like, what are some of the big nuances that are different?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, well, the biggest one is 15 balls a second. That's absolutely the biggest. The X in the middle, that's the most noticeable. So those two things right there are going to be, right off the rip. If you can't hear it when you're there, that's why it's cool. It's going to be this live thing. It's going to be, ticketed event. And when the game starts, it's like the rev of the engines essentially is like significantly higher, right? So you're talking 30% higher rates of fire, across the board. So that's going to be one thing. You're obviously going to see the huge X, right? And that's going to really stand out. And I think just kind of that really it creates a visceral feeling that everybody's going to see. Like you're going to like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And then obviously, we've got some incredible paint that as a lot of you guys saw me getting bonus balled against them in the last one. It's just this highlighter yellow exploding everywhere. So that's going to be very prominent. And then with that being said, the 25-minute halves, which is absolutely wild to think about, because when I was explaining it to somebody, you're playing an entire 2 days worth of tournament paintball in 1 hour. Right. That's like, for a lot of people, because I just coached an event here in the WCPPL, and some of my guys were like struggling to play 3 points, play one, sit one, play one, sit one, play one, sit one on a split deck, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is an entire event for some of us, Todd, in one single day, 1 single hour.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So roster depth is going to be great. Todd asked if we could increase the roster size to 15. I kind of chuckled, and now I kind of wish that I had the frequent flyer miles like he did, and I could get 15 guys that wanted to come and play with us.
Dude, what is the roster size?
It's 15.
It's 15.
Okay, it is 15.
It was 12, and then we bumped it to 15.
Yeah, smart.
So let's talk about the roster, Ryan.
Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it.
You have 12. Is that what you're bringing?
We're trying to get 12. Right now we have 8 or 9.
I had to turn 15.
Todd, they're actually asking me to dress out now. So
yeah. Junior and Mike are going to go out there as placeholders in case we need a breather.
Yeah. I said, hey, you need the sacrificial lamb. Send me out there. I can take 15.
So Alex won't be there. He's got a prior engagement that he has going on, and then we picked up Mark Meterman and Damian Vasquez. So we added some depth up front, which are two very good pickups in my opinion. And then we're working on getting one, maybe two more. Oliver was suiting up, like Oliver was ready to rip, but he was telling me this as he was at the airport flying back to Bali. So we had him on the show last week, and he's like, yeah, I'll come. Just give me a ticket. So we're like, all right, well, that could work, kind of. Maybe we'll find someone local. I want Oliver there because if we had Oliver there, it's lights out. He'll play every point, and you can shoot him a million times, and you won't even blink an eye.
Yeah, very true.
You make fun of me because I don't have lighting, and you have bugs all over.
I've got bugs everywhere. It's insane. It rains one time in San Diego, and you've got mosquitoes for 2 years. It's crazy. I bug bombed this place because there were so many bugs in here. Yeah, so now they're just like whipping around. Now I got the studio lights on, and then they're just flying around in the lights now. And I got the doors open too. That's not a very good move.
Well, Todd, what about your roster?
Yeah, have you picked up extra guys?
We have 15.
You have 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you added 7?
We did add 7.
Who did you pick up?
I don't want to ruin the surprise for Big Boy over there.
Well, it's like we're promoting people to come to this thing.
Right. We
if they know who they're going to see, that might help.
The best part about it is I asked Mark Johnson. I was like, hey man, a couple of your guys want to play with us. And he's like, obviously he said no because he picked up Mark Johnson. And I was like, hey, Mark, a bunch of your guys want to play for us. Is that cool? And he's like, sorry, man, not gonna happen. They already booked tickets. And I was like, well, I think the tickets are refundable. You know, we can just get Mouse and Kyle. Now they're here. And he's like, nope. Like, yeah, right.
Nope, they got to go to practice, buddy.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
They're all going to practice while Mark comes and plays for you. So we know Mark's one of the 7.
Mark already plays for me in Germany in the German team with my partner Tim coming at you.
Yep.
So he's already a player. So he knows what's up.
Yeah. What are you guys most excited about?
You have to remember, I also have buddy. Player acquisition is the name of the game. I just read a roster that we made and put together and went and essentially did extremely well. For never playing together, right?
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. If you're watching the coaches show, is this live right now? Are we live?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent! I love that. And you're good at paintball, like please be semi-pro or pro, preferably if you're pro and you have the weekend off. Hit Mike up.
I saw it coming.
His phone number is
Stop it, Ryan.
His email is
his email, his phone number,
yeah,
the whole deal.
Yeah.
Actually,
go ahead and hit him up.
No,
Shoot me a message if you're able to get to Salt Lake City. Like, let's talk about it because we did have 2 guys that were on the hook that wanted to come, and then last minute they were like, "Sorry, we can't make it." So
Todd probably picked him up.
Todd grabbed him already.
He's like, what are they doing for you? I got you. Go home with a little extra paint.
I hoard players and redshirt them, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good.
So besides the X and the 15 balls, and we're going to get Seth Johnson in here soon, and he could probably answer this question, but are we going to go back to the old school amount of bunkers as well? Because if I recall, there was only like 35.
We're adding a couple extra. That's a very good point. Yeah. So we actually talked about that, and one of the things, like a lot of the fields back then were really good. And I was talking to somebody about it specifically, and our skill level wasn't as high as it is now. Right. I mean, we Dynasty kind of invented that whole kind of running and shooting effectively. Right. Todd and the guys and those dudes used to run one-handed with the autocockers. And there's paintballs going down the field, but it wasn't as accurate as when we came along. And no, but we kind of talked about it. And I think that the skill level between then and now is significantly higher or now than then. And we decided, I think we're going to add some extra bunkers. So it was, because it was pretty sparse back then.
Yeah, I have this conversation sometimes, Ryan, with people where they say we should have fields like we used to. And I'm like, dude, no. First of all, nobody would make it out anywhere. And 2, if they did, they'd never move. You could never like back in the day, you used to have a handful, Todd being one of them, of elite guys who could shoot off the break. Now, the guy running to the snake, the farthest place on the field, or the furthest Dorito while he's running, can shoot a guy through a 1 foot gap. Nobody would be able to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I remember, the Xball mode, you could actually, on the breakout mode, you could hold the trigger and then let it off, and it would ramp.
Bye, Ryan.
What just?
Yeah, where'd he go?
Who did that?
He's back.
Todd. They both go, where'd he go? Bye, Ryan.
Well, let's bring Seth in, and we'll kind of talk through some details, and then
Yeah.
Bam!
Bam! Look at this.
Hey.
The first 5 time on Coach's Show live. This is incredible, and nothing's broke yet.
Well, don't say that too fast.
Just jinxed it.
Probably.
Well, Seth, welcome. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah.
Well, Seth Johnson's my name. I live in Utah. I own a field called Vendetta Paintball. I've been playing paintball since about, I think, 99 is when I started. Back in the golden era, as everyone calls it. It wasn't golden for me. I was shooting a PMI tracer, but it was. I
had one of those heavy spring, light spring, baby.
Oh yeah, all about tuning them springs. Yeah, no, it's. I've been playing paintball for a long time. I had a little break in the middle there, but it's been a passion of mine for majority of my life since I was about 12 or 13, and I've done a lot of sports and other things, and this is one I've always just kept doing and going back to because it's just there's a rush and there's a passion in paintball that there isn't in other sports. I played basketball, volleyball, motocross, snowboarding, wakeboarding, football, and paintball has been my favorite by far. So,
awesome.
But yeah, that's a little about me, I guess.
Well, let's jump right in because I think I'm going to ask the question that everybody's kind of wanting to know, and that's why are you doing this? That's one. And then 2, why Aftershock and Dynasty?
Yeah.
Well, first question is that, so when I was younger, I told Ryan this on Spick and Span show, so he kind of knows, but I loved paintball and playing competitively, but I just didn't have the money for gear and how expensive it was. I mean, fields around my area, it was $100 a case and $15 to $20 to get in. And even though I had a business, I ran a lawn care business, I just didn't have the coin to play all the time, and especially not to buy, at the time it was like a DM4 or something, or an Angel Fly or something, whatever. Like, they were expensive guns, and I just couldn't afford it. So I kind of vowed right then and there when I was in my teenager years that at some point I was going to do something not only to change the accessibility of paintball for people, but to change how we see the pros. Because when I was young, that was when pro paintball was on ESPN. So I got, for a brief little bit, I got to watch pro paintball. But other than that, it was just magazines, like Action Sports Magazine. Like I would go to the grocery store every week and pull it out and look at it. If I could afford to buy it, I bought it and took it home. And so as I grew older, I kind of started formulating a plan. Eventually, it took a long time. I had the opportunity to grab some land. My uncle lets me lease his land, which he was using for nothing. And I opened a field, and then that's when I kind of started to move forward on what I thought pro paintball should be, and that is played like any other sport. You play a match. There's, a decent payout if you win. And it's a spectator kind of thing that you can go and watch, or we are streaming it, so you can watch it online, but it's a match you can focus on. Not that split deck is like terribly hard to focus on, but having just 2 teams play a match is pretty amazing. Like there's no, your attention is undivided, and you can do more with the match, in my opinion. And the format that I'm trying out here, and this is, I've never seen this done before. I've never done it before. So there's definitely been some bumps along the way and things that we're trying to figure out, is that ultimately pro teams should play 20, 30 matches in a season all over the country. Every weekend or every other weekend, you're playing a match, and anyone who's local to that field can go and watch the match live. And if you're not local, you can watch it online, or you can travel if you've got that kind of time and money. So that's how every other sport in the world is done. And I don't see any reason why paintball can't be the same. Lots of sports are expensive, and the format that I'm doing, any field in America who has a speedball field can host it. So it doesn't have to be a giant venue. It doesn't have to cost $150,000 to rent the land to do the venue on. You set up bleachers and chairs, you make sure the field's in good condition, and you have 2 teams come play and people can watch it. I mean, that's kind of the vision behind it, and to give people a better platform to watch and a better platform for pros. The winner's taking home 15 grand. That's the pot that we're putting for this. And if you did a season of 20 matches, and let's say one team went through and swept it, that's almost $400,000 in a year.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's not even close to what like NFL and NBA is, but it's definitely a whole lot better than what we're doing now. So I think divisional players and tournaments is fantastic. I play tournaments, WC, RMPL. I host my own tournament series. But I think the pros need their own place to play that is kind of separate and different. And I think that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love the concept.
Yeah.
All right. Now, why Dynasty and Aftershock?
Well, those reasons are a little selfish. I love both teams.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Dynasty, and not this iteration of Aftershock, but I grew up watching Aftershock. My best friend growing up that I started playing paintball with, his name was Ryan Williams, and there was a player on Aftershock called Ryan Williams, and he loved that. He would, every time he was in the magazine, he'd cut the picture out, he'd save it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a pro on the field," he'd joke around about it and stuff. But I don't think there could be a better iconic and nostalgic team matchup than Dynasty versus Aftershock. Even though Todd has resurrected the brand, it's not the same brand from early 2000s necessarily, or team. It's still the name, and there's still just this pedigree with it. And Dynasty's carried on the whole time, and it just, for our first match, I just don't think I would have wanted anyone else. I was in contact with a couple other teams. I had other people suggest some teams to me, but I figured if we're going to start this off, we should start it off right. The other thing too is that, off the non-selfish topic, it would be, I think the styles of Aftershock and Dynasty make a fantastic viewing spectacle. Aftershock, I would say, is definitely more aggressive. A-Rod, Hosky, Parrish, pushing up the field hard and fast. Dynasty is more of a controlled tornado going through the field, slowly blowing people away kind of. And I think those two styles really make an exciting match to watch. And I think it also makes it so like anyone could win, there's certain styles when you match up, you're kind of like, oh, well, this team most likely is going to take it unless something weird happens. But this is, I think this is anyone's match. I really do believe that Dynasty or Aftershock could pull us out. And on top of that, doing the 25-minute halves like 2005 Xball, I mean, it's going to be a bloody knuckle battle of attrition. I don't care who you are. You could be the most fit person in the world. That is brutal. Okay, like I haven't played a 50-minute game since I was a teenager, and I'm not I'm almost 40. I'm 39, so I could hang for a while, but at some point I'm probably going to have to rest, and I'm sure everyone will have to rest. So that's going to make it exciting. And then, like Ryan talked about, 15 balls a second. If you forgot how fast 15 balls a second goes, go set your gun to 15 balls a second and shoot a hopper full. You'll crap your pants because it's fast. It's so fast.
Yeah.
Video on his Instagram.
Kyle Berry did that, right? Yeah, Kyle Berry did a video on his
10
Instagram.
and then
Paired and yep. And that was just like, I mean, I knew the difference, but if you've played paintball a long time, you hear the difference and you're just like, whoa, like you're not making it through that lane. Like there's no freaking way. I mean, 10 balls a second, I kind of tell people, I'm like, look, 10 balls a second, I would say you've got like a 15, 20% chance that you can slip through a lane sometimes, especially if they're shooting a little high or something. 12 and a half balls a second, 5% chance maybe less. 15, no, you're getting lit up down the side, stitched up, and going to the hospital. Like that's you're not making it through a lane. Like you just aren't.
Yeah.
You are certainly a hype man, Seth. That's awesome. You're going to the hospital. I love it. This is the WWE of paintball. This is outstanding.
Right.
Can't wait.
Yeah, sounds super exciting.
I love that we're the pin cushions.
You do have the ambulance on standby for Ryan, right?
I do. In fact, my field is right next to a fire station, and there's paramedics on standby. So there's no worry for medical reasons.
I know we're going to be at
altitude
covered. Also, so make sure there's some oxygen nearby for the old dinosaur up there.
Yeah. He's talking about me, not Todd, because watching Dynasty play sometimes I'm like, hey guys, can we stop doing that, please? So,
yeah, no, we'll have oxygen on hand. Actually, one of the guys on my team he's a paramed, so he does helicopters and airplane ambulance runs. And when we go to tournaments, he's got full kit. And like when we had a tournament last year in the summer in Denver that was 105 degrees, and we played. It was 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. We took second place, and he gave us IVs afterwards. Yeah. And like to replenish fluids and stuff. And that was kind of cool. I was like, it's nice having you around, Jared.
We need Jared. Aftershock needs Jared right away.
Yeah.
we need two Jareds, please, too.
Are you comfortable taking a couple of questions from the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Andrew Ormsby says, is there going to be sideline coaching?
No sideline coaching. I thought about it, but I don't know. I know some people liked it. I think spectators liked it the most, but I played during sideline coaching and I thought it was like, meh. Like I didn't really think it was necessarily like commanding power, but I don't think it added to the game, I guess is the best way to put it. So we're not doing sideline coaching, but 15 balls a second, we are putting a big X in the middle. Mike Hinman is generous enoughly sent us a big X, and that's going to be really cool to see on the field again. And then we are doing the 225-minute halves. Other than that, it's going to be standard NXL rules. So no sideline coaching. I'm not going to stop fans from cheering though. Like people want to yell and scream as much as they want. They can yell and scream as much as they want. I think that's just part of the game. You know, like I don't know. I remember the old 187 crew fans. They used to just like light the stands up. It was like deafening. Even on the podcast, it was deafening. And I think that's kind of cool. So it's hard. You got to tune it out, obviously. I know Ryan, and when he said he plays in Europe, the fans are just like booing and making all kinds of noise.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up is when you go play in Europe, it's like a soccer game.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, I feel like sometimes it feels when I'm at events, it's like it's golf. You know what I mean? Everybody's sitting in the stands really quiet and not saying or cheering. It's not that way in Europe. Like they treat it completely different than we do. And I think that the way they do it is the right way.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think you do need the fans involved more, and I think that will draw more spectators in. Maybe people that like paintball but don't want to go to an event necessarily because doesn't sound fun, but you start making a more lively crowd. I think you can draw more people in for sure. I'm hoping that I don't know everyone that bought tickets. I know some of the people that are local. I'm hoping every single group that I've had at my field for rentals and everyone I've talked to, I've promoted the event. I'm like, if you guys want to see some cool paintball with 15 balls a second, you know, which always makes me go, whoa. I'm like, buy a ticket and come out. And I really hope some of these people I don't know were people from my rental groups that come out, because I think that would be freaking awesome just to have people that don't know paintball to come see it.
Joey Konopensky says, how many tickets have you sold for the live viewership?
Oh, for the stream?
No. I think he's saying.
Oh, for the live. Okay, yeah. I think we're right around 100 right now. Most of them are VIP tickets. So they've been coming in more a little hot and heavy the past day. For 100 tickets or the VIP?
No, what does VIP mean? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the general tickets get you into the event, and then there's grandstands on one end of the field that you get to sit in. VIP, you get to sit in an area that it's marked off for VIP that has shade and chairs to sit in. There's water and snacks for you, and you get a grab bag with a event T-shirt, poster, and stickers. Okay. And your pits are on either side of the VIP area. So you're kind of right in the mix of it on the snake side.
Wow.
And this is going to be a blind layout that the teams will see the day of they show up on Friday?
Absolutely, yep. I'm going to set it up, Thursday night in the cover of darkness, and then you guys will show up. Show up on Friday. Yeah. Well, I know Ryan or Todd will have a Utah friend that'll probably be trying to scope it with their drone or something. So I got to do it in the cover of darkness. So
yeah, we have Dynasty's got a lot of fans, and a lot of them out there in Utah, especially. Shock, I don't know where their fans are exactly. I think in Chicago, around Badlands area.
They're everywhere.
I don't know.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. So I haven't told Todd and Ryan this specifically, but as soon as you get here on Friday, you can come and walk the field all day long, do whatever you want to do. So I definitely, blind layouts can be exciting. It's all about who can figure it out first.
I'm the biggest proponent of blind layouts, by the way, Coach. I like just to see something brand new, and then you have to figure it out within a certain amount of time and then get to it.
I love it as well.
Yeah.
Same.
Hey, are the grounds on Friday going to be open to the public?
No. I do actually have a small rental group at 3:00 on the field that'll probably be there for an hour. But other than that, no. So my field's only open to the public on Saturdays.
Okay.
And then obviously it's closed for the event. So you'll have the field all to yourselves.
I meant more like if any of the spectators are in town early, because I know that there's a handful of people, especially I know there's a handful of people flying in for this. And so if they get in on Friday, are they going to be allowed to just come out and say hi? Especially if pick up their wristbands or tickets or whatever they need to get for the event.
Yeah, if they're attending the event,
right.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question.
No, it's all right.
If they're
kind of vague.
Yeah, they can definitely come and say hi, check things out on Friday because they bought a ticket. They can get their wristband then if they want. All the VIP tickets, I got these gold VIP tickets. I was trying to find Willy Wonka tickets, but I couldn't find them anywhere. So I got gold VIP tickets and mailed them out to everyone. So all the VIP people get to bring their gold ticket in and get their wristband, which is kind of fun. But we are also too. This is just something fun for people. Like I said, we tried to make this really an event, not just a game that you watched. So the game starts at 10 a.m. and then normally back in 2005 there was a 2-minute gap between the halves, which is really quick. We actually want to do a little bit of a halftime show. So we're going to have more of a 15-minute break between the halves, give the guys a breather, and then we're going to have people do 1v1s in banana suits, just running around trying to see it.
Bananas?
Love it.
Yes. Banana suits. Yeah.
Oh, bring your banana suit.
Yeah, I've got two banana suits, and if you want to play a 1v1, you tell me, and we put it on. It's going to be hard as crap to see out of the banana suit, and you're going to be running around trying to shoot at each other, and it's going to be hilarious. So we figured we'd do something kind of fun. I was going to get a band, but they fell through, and I thought this is more fun anyways, and I think that'll be something fun to fill the time a little bit and give people something crazy to look at, and then we'll be back to the action.
Man, I'm going to be sitting there trying to have a team conversation about our adjustments for the second half, and I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to end up being distracted by these giant bananas running around in this.
Well, Mike, don't
have your meeting and then watch the banana one-on-one.
Yeah.
Guys, we got 5 minutes because I got to watch these bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm counting on Todd Martinez laughing and being on the ground when he watches it too. So don't worry about it. I think it'll be on both sides.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
So tell us about the live stream.
So the live stream, it's actually something pretty recent. So we originally weren't going to do a live stream, and to be honest with you, that was simply because we just wanted more people to attend the event. The idea is that we want people to see this live. Live streams are good, but live is better, right? And that's with everything. So we didn't want to do it for a long time, but then we said, you know what? There's just so many people that kept asking about it and couldn't make it, and we're across the country. I get it; it's expensive to fly somewhere. I kept telling people, I'm like, hey, Utah's got national parks, we've got lakes. I'm like, make a vacation out of it. Come out here and watch the match and do something fun, but it's still expensive. So we finally started to get a live stream together, and we actually have he's a guy on my team and he does photography and stuff, and his brother is a videographer professional. And we're like, you know what? Let's just make this happen. And so he spent a lot of money on cameras and cords and switchboards and everything we need to do a live stream. I've done everything I can to get the fastest internet we can get so we can stream it, high quality and not have problems. Hopefully the tests have gone good so far, but it's hard to say until you get, a couple thousand people watching. But the live stream will have 8 cameras and a drone.
Wow.
Yeah. We're not going to be, we were trying to get a cable cam, but it wasn't going to happen. The equipment we needed wasn't going to be here in time. And it was very expensive for the cable cam equipment. So we'll have a drone we can switch between. We'll have 8 cameras on the edge of the field. We might have some in the pits. We're working on a couple cameras just for the pits, some cheaper ones, just, kind of see the action. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And hopefully it goes well. We also have Trauma Head Sports that's going to be there. They'll be filming it. I'm super excited about that. I've watched his videos for a long time. I love watching the old school Xball stuff, and watching Ryan. Yeah,
Dynasty makes a move to the 50.
I mean, I don't think Danny's not going to be there though, right? Danny Manning's not. No.
I don't know. I don't know for sure if he is. Jeff hasn't said. Yeah. No,
that would be the best.
My favorite is when he talks about someone getting hit in the dome. He's like, and he took one to the dome. What was that, Todd?
I was with Danny this weekend. We played him on Team Smoke. We played him twice.
Yeah.
And I asked him, and he had some other obligations, but Jeff and those guys are all, obviously coming. I even told him I'd try to help it out if he could get out there, and he was going to try to get back with me today or tomorrow. So.
Awesome.
All right. So
also,
go ahead.
Billy Summers is also coming out. If you guys know, I know Ryan knows him, but if anyone knows Billy Summers, well, Bill, he lives in Utah, and he's more of a feature film guy. Worked on a lot of movie sets and stuff, and he came to my field. He called me and then came to my field and talked to me for a while, and he was all excited about it. And I think him and Jeff are going to try and work together, and he's going to do more like in the pits and kind of more dramatic side of things. And so I'm super excited about this. This has been a field of dreams kind of thing, and I mean that both as the movie and like a literal sense. Like, I didn't know if this would work. I really didn't. I was doing everything in my power to make it happen. I was talking with Ryan and Todd. We've been talking since the end of last year, and it really has just all been coming together, and it really is just cool to see it happen. So I'm stoked about it. I'm glad we're getting coverage on it too.
So it's a passion project. We've got the 1-hour Xball exhibition match. You've got a live stream. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of post-production done for this event as well. Is there going to be any type of, I don't know, will there be vendors there? Will it, this is an event, right? So.
Yep. There will be vendors there. Actually, we have a small vendor row, not a ton of people. One of our sponsors is actually a local paintball clothing company called Brutal Wear. Ryan might have saw their booth out at WC this last weekend. Really cool guys. Day and Eric are good friends of mine. Day's a tattoo artist, very talented. Eric's a designer, and they've sourced a lot of good materials and designs and stuff. And so they're sponsoring the event. They'll have a booth. PE will be there just in a support role for Aftershock. They have a tech out there and a booth. And then we also have a Salmon Electric, which is a local company that sponsors it. They might have a booth. I'm not sure on that yet. They haven't told me. And then I think we have one more that said they're doing a booth. So there will be a little bit of stuff. We tried to get Virtue and some other companies out here because the owner of Virtue lives in Utah, Chris. And he's just super busy. And I'm not sure if he can be able to get a booth out here or not. He's been a little spotty on getting back to me, but yeah, we'll have a few vendors out here. And we'll also have food trucks. We've got a really good pizza truck it's handmade pizza and fired in an oven right there in the truck. We had them at our tournament earlier in the year. And then we have Costa Vida, which is a burrito Mexican food place that'll be out there. So should be great. We're trying to do everything we can to make this a quality event for people. Like I said, we want this to be an event and an experience that people enjoy being at, not just I'm watching a match of paintball and going home.
Yeah. So what about ice cream, Seth? Will there be ice cream?
Oh man, I would love to get an ice cream food truck. I don't know if I've known of any, but
Yeah.
Mike, you know what? There is 4 different amazing ice cream places within 5 minutes of the field. So
Boom. That's all I needed, Seth. That's all I had to say.
That's all you need. Yeah, it's there's a bunch, so don't worry about that.
Excellent. Ryan, mark that down. There's 4. There's 4.
You're gonna have to figure out. Like, you're gonna have to call him Greenspan.
We loved ice cream.
That's right.
Ice cream's amazing. I'm a fan.
What was that, Mr. Gray?
And it's
You're gonna have to call him Greenspan because you every time you say Ryan.
I know.
That texting both of you today sucked. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put RG. Wait, no, that doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. The RG doesn't work.
Both have
either.
colors in your last name.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, Seth, is there anything else you want to share with us before we let you go?
You know what? Anyone who's watching or listening to this, like this is your everyday man's dream trying to come true. So if you can support it, you can come out here, you watch it, support the teams playing. We're trying to give Dynasty and Aftershock a platform that is great for them, and a chance to win some chunk of money. And you want us to do more than support it. Watch the live stream. If you can go to the website, it's $5. So I really couldn't have made it much cheaper. And it's, we're trying to make this happen, and but it takes they say it takes a village, right? That's the saying. And it really does. It takes a big community to make this happen. And we want to do more of these. Not to, get anyone too excited, but I've already talked to another pro team that is willing to come out and play one in the fall. So if this goes off great, we're probably going to have the winner come back as the defending champ, and we're going to have another pro team out here to do another one. So let's make this a thing that is real and not just a one-time off thing that never happens again. I don't want that. I want this to improve the sport and make paintball better for everyone. So let's do it.
How much is a VIP ticket?
Yeah.
VIP tickets are $90.
All right. So if you have 2 people that want to go, if anybody's listening to the show and you want to go and you're around Utah and you want to go, I'll buy 2 VIP tickets for you and somebody else to go just to be supportive.
Wow. Man.
Awesome.
Dude, epic.
Ryan,
Thank you, Ryan.
So the first person who sends an email to ryan@thecoachesshow.live, I'll connect with Seth and get you 2 VIP tickets.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I love it. Like, anybody who's willing to jump off a cliff for passion, like I've jumped off a bunch in my life. I've owned businesses my whole life, and I've jumped off a lot of cliffs. Sometimes I hit the ground, right? Yeah. But sometimes I don't. And when I don't, it's a pretty awesome thing, especially when there's passion behind it and I can hear it in your voice, and I think it's awesome. I want to back up just for a second because I love what you said about the Aftershock. I was hoping that that's what you'd say when I said, why did you choose these 2 teams? Because when I think about this format that you're doing, those are the 2 name brands, in my opinion, that are playing right now that should be there. Like those are the brands, right? Like, so I love that. And when Chicago Aftershock came back, we all had those same feelings, right? It was like, holy shit, we're so happy to see this logo hanging again, right? Like guys wearing that across their chest again at the events. Like I think everybody, regardless, we all want to beat them, of course, but at the same time, if you love paintball, you love that brand.
Yeah, well, Todd did a service to the whole paintball community in the pro division by doing it. He really did. And especially if you watch the decline of Aftershock before they went away. I know Todd hasn't got the results that he wanted yet necessarily at every tournament, but it's blown away what it was before. So it's been really heartwarming to see the team come back and do much better than they were when they were on the decline and going out. So, it would have been different if it wasn't like that. So, and I have high hopes that it continues on an upward trend.
Yeah, same.
Outstanding.
Yeah, this is really cool, Seth. I'm really glad that, from when we talked about it and you kind of like, it's funny you referenced Field of Dreams because I actually called you Kevin Costner in a text message to somebody else. I think it was to Chris Shear. And, it's because, and Ryan, you put it really well. It's like, man, so many people don't just actually jump forward off that ledge to like take that chance and take the risk, because it is a big risk. It's a big risk on multiple different facets, both financially, both like for your career, reputation, putting Utah paintball and your field on the map. There's like a lot of things that I'm sure keep you up at night even still right now, but that you have to overcome in order to pull something like this off. And I think it's awesome. You know, you're challenging the status quo. You know, you've reached out to two of the largest names in paintball history and gotten us to jump on board with the concept and the idea. And again, it's really cool. So thanks for having the balls to do this and creating this, you know, your field of dreams. Because again, they say at the same time, like, you wanted to own a paintball field, so you found a way to open a paintball field. So it really is, like, I think that's very true to form right there. So how do people get tickets? Where do they go to get tickets? Where do they go to watch the webcast? How do people sign up and jump on board with this? And yeah. So vendettapaintball.shop. That's the easiest one. Vendettapaintballutah.com also gets you there. So if you Google it and it comes up, that's the same thing. But yeah, go on there. Yeah, go on there. If you click events and clinics, it'll have a big red button that says Pro Invitational Tickets. And then if you click live stream on the top menu, it will have the live stream. You pay $5 and then you get an access to it. And you watch it right on the website. So that live stream tab will be on this website when it's live?
Yep. As soon as we go live. So you can pre-purchase a ticket. We've had about 12 or 15 people pre-purchase live stream tickets. So once you purchase it, you get access individually. Like, it makes it so that you can't, sorry to bum anyone out, but you can't share it with people. You have to pay the $5 to watch it. But yeah, you watch it. Yeah, it's $5, right? $5
if you're that cheap, my goodness.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it should be amazing. The live stream we've put, actually, it's, you know, we had to do it kind of quick, but we've put a lot of time and effort and money into making this live stream happen. And I'm happy to offer to people, because like I said, the more people kept asking about it, I kind of almost started feeling bad. I was like, man, I want more of these people to watch this. And as much as I want everyone to come live, I know the reality is just some people just can't make a trip like that, you know, financial reasons or health or whatever. And to give them the ability to watch the match and participate is going to be really cool. So the only thing we don't have nailed down is our commentator. We have a pro on the line that's trying to make it out, but I'm not 100% sure he's going to make it out. So if there's anyone who knows paintball and you're willing to come out and you've got a lively personality and you know what to say and, you know, and do, throw me a message me through vendettapaintball.shop and we'll make it happen.
Just give me a mic. Just tune me into the thing. I'll commentate while I'm playing.
He probably could.
He probably
that would be
actually.
pretty epic. That would be pretty epic.
Can't find anybody.
So
maybe we're just gonna have Todd up there. Todd will be talking shit on everyone and on Dynasty the whole time.
Yeah,
and on it would probably be on his own guys more than Dynasty. If I know Todd.
But if you wanted an
I've stood next to him during matches and he's like just shitting on people the whole time, and I'm like, that's your guys. And he's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing it. All right.
It's love. That's love.
Yeah, it is. It's intensity for sure.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say you're the way that you've kind of put it all out there, if you create a big enough spectacle that people do get to watch on the live feed, your next one that you do will have better attendance.
100%.
Right? Like, I think there's
100%.
people are a little weary right now, right? Because it's new. And so I think if you create a big enough spectacle, people watching the live view they're going to want to be there in person the next time, right? Like, especially, I mean, I remember 15 balls a second. It's a different deal.
Yeah. Well, and I knew this going in. I think, you know, Ryan and Todd knew this also, that there would definitely be a lot of skepticism. There would be doubts. I mean, I've had people tell me that people are asking them, is this real? Like, is this actually happening? I mean, this is after months of promoting. They kept asking if it's happening. And I'm like, yes. I mean, I'm making this happening. Like, I took a small loan out from a friend of mine to make sure that we have the funds ahead of time to make everything happen, because I believed it would, and I wasn't going to let it fall through. Like, that wasn't going to happen. And, you know, you can't go and half-ass to something and expect it just to make, you know, amazing results. It's not going to happen. You've got to go, you know, head first, 10 feet under, and trust that when you hold your breath, you're going to pop up at the top and you're going to come out better than you were when you dove in the first time. So that's what my my motto in life has been. I mean, Ryan was joking about jumping off a cliff, and making it work.
It
but
wasn't a joke.
Well, not a joke, but it was a joke to me because when I was a little kid, my mom thought I was going to jump off a cliff when we went to like national parks. So I wore like a body leash so that I wouldn't just jump off a cliff. So that when he said that, that's what popped in my head. I was like, it's been a thought. It's great, guys.
You got to take risks, right? Because if you take a risk and you win, you're going to be happy. If you take a risk and you lose, well, then you'll be wise. So it's just, either way you look at it, right? You're growing. So I'm just incredibly impressed with this whole ordeal, and I can't wait to experience it. So,
Ryan, is there anything else we forgot?
No, I mean, I think this is, again, like we said, pretty cool, and just make sure that everybody out there visits the link, shares it with their friends, blow this thing up so that way we're able to do this again and that this is successful. Right. I think this is a really big treat for a lot of people. There's a handful of players and people out there who are watching this right now who've never even experienced that type of rate of fire. Have never seen the X. They've only heard about it. So the idea of bringing Aftershock and Dynasty together to play this type of format is really historic, right? And it's bringing something back. And again, it's challenging the status quo and changing the norms and making something pretty special. So absolutely sign up for the webcast if you can't. I put the link there in for you. But make sure that's all shared. And yeah, it's going to be cool. And it sounds like, yes, Rogue, there will be a way to watch a replay as well. They're going to do post-production work. And there's going to be a lot of cool stuff supporting around. So, and I always say it on my show a lot, right? And I think a lot of the viewers here, we have a lot of crossover viewers, but everybody who's watching this show is a fan of paintball, right? So you want to support any type of growth of paintball that you possibly can, any chance that you get. And you always want to support the sponsors, right? The sponsors and the people who support the show. So that's always obviously like everybody who's watching this, there's no reason that the several hundred or thousand people that will watch this over the course of this week are going to make sure that, that they should tune in to this webcast because, it's $5. And it's funny when you quantify something, how cheap that is. It's like, you don't upgrade your supersized meal at the drive-thru. You don't go to Starbucks one time this week. And that's the difference of being able to watch and support a new format in paintball that has the possibility to grow into something that's just more paintball for you guys to consume. We can have this and the NXL. That's simple. And so this is a great opportunity for everybody to, again, support something new and watch high-level paintball that is extremely exciting to watch. Right. And then, because again, it's not like we're going to have a game that's 1-2 in 20 minutes. It's an hour of paintball. So this is actually a sporting match. Right. So, yeah.
And I just want to say real quick, just on the, Ryan's talking about supporting, one of the sponsors we haven't mentioned that is GI Sports. They are the title sponsor of this event. They stepped up and gave us a chunk of cash to get this event going. And they're providing all the paint that both these teams are shooting. So my hat's off to them, and I hope you guys support GI, JT, all the brands that are under their empire. These are the people that make it happen. And just so everyone understands, all the money that comes from the live stream and the tickets, that goes to paying the pot that these teams are winning. So when you're buying a ticket, you literally are supporting paintball players playing the game. I'm not taking this into my pocket or anything like that. This is you guys making it happen. So, support paintball by showing love for those who are trying to do things for you, both for watching and for playing. So, like I said, I want to do more of these. I really do, but we need everyone to participate in order to make that happen.
Outstanding.
Yeah, totally. We show what we care about in 3 ways, right? Time, energy, and money.
Yeah. Yep.
If you care, give it your attention, and it's $5.
And it's
$5.
Yeah.
So can't even get a sandwich for $5 anymore. So
no,
not a good one. So.
Not a good one. No.
Seth, thank you so much, man, for coming on and talking about this event. We're really excited for you, and I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for me as a fan and just say thank you. I appreciate the fact that you were willing to jump off that
Appreciate
cliff.
that.
It's very, very brave of you. And I hope that it works out, and we'll be right back here in the fall having this conversation again.
Hopefully, yeah. I've got a couple more hours of daylight. I'm going to be working, but it's the past 2 weeks, and this week is going to be, it's sun up to sundown for me. So it's a lot of work, but we also have a lot of good people here, and it's going to be exciting, guys. I hope no one misses out on this, because it's just not something you should.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time again, Seth. We appreciate it. And Todd Adamson, thank you for joining us this evening as well. Greatly appreciate your insight on the ICPL. We look forward to seeing you this weekend out in Utah. Can't wait to shake your hand again, brother. Ryan, you want to stick around for a minute? And
I'm here. You guys got me here. I'm ready to chat.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan,
Gentlemen.
he's got the bugs.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
All right, see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
Awesome. That's it. Listen, this is an exciting thing. I will be honest. I was a little nervous about it. I'm not afraid to say this publicly. I was a little nervous when all this was happening, because I was like, wow, what is this about? This is the weekend before a layout practice, all these different things. But now I'm really stoked and excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody. I think Seth was nervous too. And so we've had him on our show a couple of times, and he's really well spoken. He knows what he's talking about, and he's really passionate about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of said, all right, and John Rathburn from Core, he flew out there to check out the field and everything. And he goes, okay, if you want to pull this off, you got my support, right? Yeah. And we'll support this fully, and we'll make sure that the guys have paint. We created banners, JT banners with Aftershock, and like fight style cool banners, like big, like 6-foot banners that are gonna be going around all over the field and the VIPs. So Core and GI have showed up for helping out, and again taking the leap and of faith with his vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well,
he articulated it well. He
Totally.
articulated it well, and I think that was a good deal. Well done, Seth. I love it.
Yeah, he is, in my opinion, he's the product, right? Like, he does a great job representing it, talking about his concept, his dream about it. Like, he's the product. He did a great job there. So I'm excited for him. Ryan, you've been around a long time. We've all been around a really long time. We've seen stuff like this literally come in like a promotional way, and it never makes, right? Like, they'll get 40% down the path, and then they give up. Mm-hmm. They give up. I mean, this guy goes out and got a loan, right, to make sure that he can still do it. Like, speaks a lot about him.
It does.
Yeah, a lot about him.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about BKI a little bit. So summer camp, I think there's still 8 spots left, right? So you want to talk about the summer camp a little bit? Like, the 5 minutes. Let's talk about the summer camp, and then let's go to bed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Summer camp is by far, I would say, outside of playing your first World Cup, I think summer camp is the best paintball experience that you can ever have. Right. And the reason for that is you're eating, sleeping, breathing, and living paintball for 4 days straight. It's all inclusive, and it's not just like you're in this kind of shitty old place and you're kind of like just no structure and you're eating pizzas. There's gourmet food. We ate lobster one year. We're eating prime rib. Like, there is like arugula and beets cheese and goat cheese salads. Like, it is all about the player experience and making sure that everybody has a high level like experience and just time and everything. And like I said, you sleep and breathe and eat paintball, right? We're at the paintball field all day. We do kind of structured, we do drills and we set stepping stones. We do conditioning stuff. We do everything. We do big games. We play against all the players. We do a tournament at the end. We give away prizes, and then on top of that, you're staying in a bunk with the entire summer camp. So we're there. Everybody's like, it's glamping. It's not really camping. It's glamping. We're indoors, running water, all that sort of stuff, and no mosquitoes inside. And, you have access to myself, Nick Sloviak, Nick Laval, Connor Kelly's going to be there this year. I'm really excited. Kyle Spica. Yeah. You have access to like some incredibly bright paintball minds. And then when we're back from the field, we do video breakdown. We talk to all the players. We go over game planning. We do over all this, just pretty much everything. We do a spick and span show live from the venue as well. So you're really like engulfed in this just everything paintball, from the playing, the prep, the meals, the mindset, all of it, the promotional aspect of it, so you get like, it's really, really cool. I just can't say enough great things about it.
Great pitch. Leave the beets out next time, because you had me until you said beets.
They have it without that too. He gives you guys there's vegetarian, vegan, beef.
But no, it sounds fantastic. I'm so excited about this. I actually reached out to Anthony and them, and I said, well, how do the coaches get involved? Because I would love to be there and be involved in molding the next generation and being involved. Because Ryan, you can't come on my show and not pitch a quote. And
I know it. So we were actually just talking about that last week at the WC. One of the players like, dude, do you think does he memorize all of them, or does he plan them ahead of time? I'm like, he knows them all. He's got them all.
Well, they usually come, but Benjamin Franklin, I loved it. Ben was.
Thank you for not making me guess who it was, because
I wasn't going to. I quit letting all our tricks out. But no, the summer camp is it's great, because it reminds me of something Ben Franklin said, and this is a great opportunity for the young generation to get involved and be, he said, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, but involve me, I learn. And so I think, being dumped into it like that and having access to you and Spica and all these great guys, and just like you said, it's a foundational aspect. You're building upon different things, and that's the best way to learn. It's just incredible. Making mistakes simply means you're learning faster, everybody. So don't be afraid to get out there in front of these guys and do it and send it and push it, because guys like Ryan are going to see this. They're going to draw from your natural talents. They're going to take your strengths. They're going to amplify them. Right. And so I think it's a great opportunity. I hope I get an opportunity to be involved in one of these. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great to get any of you guys up. And it's cool. Sorry, Rye. It's so cool to see you guys doing as much as you're doing in the community from a coaching standpoint, because a lot of that's like, it's not really a lost art. It's just, I could say it's a lost art because so many people that are doing it are lost. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And they need direction. And I think that it's incredibly important, because a lot of times it's just a D2 guy or D3 guy coaching a bunch of D4 guys. And it's just kind of like, right. I think I'm a little better, so therefore I should be telling you what to do, and not understanding the structure, what's going on, how to exactly explain it, articulate it to people. I can't even really say it right now. I think what you guys are doing by having these coaching clinics. Sorry, I forgot. I can't come to the thing. I got to do a photo shoot for JT, but if I can, I will be there. I meant to reply. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll send. We'll grab some.
But you guys doing your coaching clinics at the events, like, it's so important that people sign up for those, even if you're not a coach, right? Because a lot of times I've learned, and this is also, this is the summer camp is high level paintball, and it's also medium, and it's beginner level paintball, and we are really good at crafting all of that to make sure it's digestible for everybody. I mean, we have so many players from the Team USA camp that have played and won for Team USA, players that were not pro that are pro now. Brandon Trujillo is one of them. You got Colton Dahl. You got like so many of these players who are semi-pro or pro already, who've had these opportunities to play for Team USA. Right? I see that jacket right there in the background. And what people don't understand is some people don't have, they're just a little bashful, or they're a little too prideful to go in there and ask for help.
Yep.
Right. And coaching especially. Right. And so if you're not a coach, you should still sign up for as many of these as possible, so you can download as much data as you can and collect that information, and then say, hey, this is really helpful, because it's going to allow you to learn and absorb from your coach. It's going to allow you to be able to teach later down the road. It's any bit of information that you guys can gather is going to incredibly and quickly increase your game.
Well said. And it's funny, because Ryan and I go to these clinics, and we'll come across somebody who'll come up with this great idea. And what we do is, and that's something we ask when we share all the data that we're sharing, because there's so much to do from a coaching perspective. A lot of people don't realize. They think, okay, we show up, we call plays, we do this, we call lines, but no, there's so much more to it. And and what kind of coach are you going to be? But this is the one thing we ask. And we ask that you in turn give it to somebody else, that you take what you've learned and share it. And so that it spreads faster, and it just brings everybody up to speed, and it pushes those of us at the front harder. Right. So.
And if you make ours better, send it back. Like send it back with the improvements.
Make us smarter. Yeah.
Send it back.
Everybody, you're always learning. No matter what you're doing, you got to learn, and you got to be a sponge, and you got to be open to the ideas. Yeah. As difficult as it is sometimes.
Totally. Yeah. Every time we do a coach's clinic, or anytime I even do any clinic, I learn something every time. Mm-hmm. I've never taught one that I didn't learn something new. Whether it was how to word something differently, whether it was a concept that somebody was struggling with and I had to try to find a different way to show them how to do it. Whatever it is, I learn something every single time I teach. Mm-hmm. Every time.
Without a doubt.
So, yeah. So why should people, other than immersion and those kind of things, why should somebody sign up for the summer camp?
Well, first of all, I am a father who has a 6-year-old daughter, and it's summertime, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with her all summer. So if you have a kid and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with this kid all summer? July 23rd to the 27th, I believe there's 4 days. It's all inclusive. Food, all the paintballs you can shoot. No, but again, it's
paintball,
it's just fun, right? There's nobody who comes to the summer camp and leaves going, it wasn't very fun. I didn't get any information from it. And it's not like you have to take a notepad and you're like, we're grilling you guys. You're like playing paintball and you're competing and you're doing all the fun parts of paintball, right? And again,
Todd Adamson isn't there yelling at you, calling you stupid.
Yeah, no one's yelling at you. No one's harsh. Everybody's super supportive. Everybody's there for the same reason, right? And we make it fun. We keep it fun.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It really is. And I just, again, your paintballs are included. So kids, you can shoot as many paintballs as you want.
And there's a lot of drills.
Yeah. There's a lot. We're playing a lot of paintball. We're playing a lot of paintball. And you're never going to go home at the end of the day going, I wish we could still be playing. You're like, oh,
I'm paintballed out.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, so I just think again, I can't reiterate the fact that it's such an incredible experience. It's something that I wish that I had when I was playing paintball. I mean, I did summer camp when I was a kid, but it wasn't paintball cool summer camp. It was just the lame summer camp. And it's a unique opportunity, and any chance, it doesn't matter. Even if you're semi-pro and you're watching this and you're like, what am I going to get out of it? You're getting hands-on with 6 top level pros who have won multiple world championships. And I think that right there is just, you can get anything that you want out of it. It's not like I'm going to go there and there's like little kids there. It's literally all ages. I think Colton Dahl came when he was like 13 or 12 and he was stunting on people. There are some younger kids there and they're all really good. And then there's some older guys that come with their kids. And that's another one. Like if you're a father or a mother, and you have a son or a daughter that is really into playing paintball and you want them to get good and you want to have a bonding experience with them, this is it. I think there's 3 Canadians that come, and the kid, I'm drawing a blank on their names, but the son now plays semi-pro and his dad, and they're coming back to the camp. And it's really cool. It's a very, very cool experience that I think everybody should.
Along those same lines, Ryan, I think there's something to be said. So you come there and you go through these drills. If anything, you're getting the work in. But imagine you're a semi-pro player. You have access to 6 world champions, and you can ask them, hey, how do I prepare for the pro level? Some of those dinner conversations would be worth the trip alone, right? That's how I look at it. Because when look, I know I coach Dynasty, but every opportunity I get to talk to a Ryan Greenspan and Alex Frazier, Blake Yarber, Yosh Rao, every opportunity I get, I'm learning. I'm always learning. And it's fantastic. When I get to talk to my friend Ryan Gray here, I'm always learning. And these opportunities to sit down and chat with these people, it's a great, I mean, it's momentum. I mean, you couldn't pay enough for that.
Mm-hmm. And networking, that's another one, right?
That is, yeah.
Like a lot of these guys are playing, and that's where you meet. And like when we see one of the kids at one of the players at an NXL event or something like that, right? We're like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? We're really engaged with them. We're engaged with everybody, but we can see now there's recognition on who these players are, and then they combine. And sometimes they're like, hey, let's throw in this event at World Cup. Like, let's get on a team. I can vouch for this kid. I can vouch for this player because I've seen them play, and I know that they're good.
There it is.
And so it's just, again, networking is another really good opportunity there.
That's fantastic. Fantastic.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, my friend. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
No, man. I think you guys are doing a great job. I'm stoked that the fan base is growing across the board for paintball in general. And I'm gonna do my best to get out to. If I can't get to this one, I'm for sure gonna go to one of your others, and I'll come by and say hi. We're doing a new photo shoot for JT to launch all their summer and winter gear. So I gotta be there, all hands on deck in between that. Plus we've got that 3-on-3 kind of thing. So no, man, I think you guys are doing a great job, and tune into the Spick and Span show tomorrow at the same time.
For those wondering, Ryan, we were going to have Ryan be a surprise guest at the coaches.
Nobody knows that you were going to be our guest.
Right.
Oh,
so we're going to bring you in.
Maybe I'll be there. Maybe I won't.
Big surprise. We were going to have someone come in and talk about winning cultures. And of course, but long story short, hey, thank you for joining us. You are on the Best Damn Show on Monday nights.
That's right.
And of course, be sure to tune into the Best Damn Show on Tuesday nights, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Who do you?
Am I too old? Do you think anyone gets that reference about the bat?
Probably not. Who do you guys have tomorrow, Ryan?
We're trying to get David Ramirez from Collision.
Collision.
They just won the WCPL.
We talked about him yesterday.
His brand's taken off, the Violence brand. We're trying to we're trying to like change the tune from violence maybe to like happiness or something like that. So we're going to pitch him on that tomorrow.
I don't think it's going to work, but
I don't think so either. I don't know. Yeah. We couldn't get Jason and Jacob to change the hate brand, but we're just out here trying to get everybody to be happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure peace would be a good selling marketing tool in
paintball. It's there. Peace and love, guys.
Yeah, peace.
Paintball peace.
Although we need in our sport right now, we need a little bit.
We do.
Peace.
It is a very unique sport, and we have a melting pot of people, and it shows here on your show. It shows as everybody's kind of coming out there, and I think that this is the most empowering sport you can play. Right, for anybody across the board. So, yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Andrew Orsby. He said he understood the reference. So
he's just trying to make you feel better.
He was. I know he was. But
someone will always get it, Mike. Yeah, someone will
I
get
know.
it.
It's one guy. Yeah, one guy. All right, Ryan. Thanks, pal.
All right, guys.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, I'll see you Friday.
Enjoy
brother.
your family.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.
Ryan Greenspan, everybody. What a show, man. What a show. We had Todd Adamson from Aftershock. We had Ryan Greenspan from Dynasty. We've got you from Russian Legion. We had Seth from Vendetta Paintball. My goodness, man.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I was like Seth is he's a very charismatic guy. That was cool.
Seems that way. I can't wait to meet him. I really can't.
Yeah. It was fun to have him on. And it was like I could tell Todd was just fading.
Oh, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd had just come back. He'd just flown in from Maryland, and he was dying. We were in the chat sitting there going, we need to cut him loose soon because we're losing him. And he even fired back. He's like, SOS, please. Let me go sleep. So,
he's a tired man. So
I love it. Yeah. Outstanding, man. I absolutely love it. I can't thank our guests enough. It's good time. It's good time. I'm looking forward to the coaches clinic, of course, in Cincinnati. I'm really looking forward to that one. Stoked.
If you guys have not signed up for the coaches clinic and you want to, you need to get signed up so I can make you a book. If you sign up within 5 days of the event, you won't get a book because I won't bring extras because I don't have space in my bag. And I'm going out there. I leave the Tuesday before the layout drops. I'll be there. So I don't have time to go make a bunch of new books. So
that reminds me, I'll be driving there. So I'll be driving in.
Driving there?
Yeah, I'm driving.
I'm not driving there. I'm not driving there. Yeah, we're also going to Chicago, but we're playing at Blast Camp and playing Houston Heat and Baltimore Arsenal.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. Thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out with us for a little while tonight. Really long show. Sorry about that.
It's past your bedtime, right?
It is rolling right up on my bedtime. That 4:45 alarm is going to be fun. Anyway, nonetheless, thanks to our guests tonight, Todd Adamson, Ryan Greenspan, Seth Johnson. Is that right?
Seth Johnson, yes.
Seth Johnson from Vendetta Paintball. This episode has been brought to you by Max Sportswear for all your custom paintball needs. Get Max, BKI. Get registered for the summer camp if you want to do it. There's only 8 spots left. Please get in that if you're wanting to do it. Thank you to Major League Paintball, Major League Paintball Plus, Darren Cessna, Tom Cole, Kevin Fillers, and Alex Sorensen. For Mike Bianca, I'm Ryan Gray. As always, be responsible.